Hey everybody, coming in with the midweek workout. So remember, December 29th is the date that you'll be seeing this thing. So remember on Wednesdays, don't jump out early, right? We got a warm up, we got a Metcon, and then we have a finisher that is almost always basically focused on the core, okay? So I'm gonna start off with 3 rounds of my warm up, 10 arm circles, okay? Looking for 5 backwards and 5 forward. If you notice, I don't have the best range of motion, so when I do these, I actually like to do single arm forward. Okay, single arm forward, and then single arm back. Okay, it just allows me to get my shoulders a little bit more warm. Once I'm done there, I got 4 inchworms. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by standing up, break at the knees, hands flat on the floor, walk myself out, finish in the high plank position, and go ahead and walk myself nice and tall. 4 inchworms there. Then I'm gonna move on to some bird dogs. So those are on the floor. Okay, remember we're crunching our elbow to our knee. We've done this a few times in the workout before, in the warm-up before. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend my right hand up, my left leg out, crunch my elbow to my knee, and extend. Elbow to knee, extend. That would be on my right, my left, right, and then I would switch over to those opposite sides. Okay, so 4 bird dogs on each side for a total of 8. And then I have 10 dumbbell lateral raises. So we talked about a couple weeks ago adding in some equipment. And this is kind of the first week of doing that. So grab your light dumbbell, and we're looking for a lateral raise. So core is pulled down, so I'm just gonna be at this nice little angle here. Core is pulled down, so my core is nice and tight. Also think about squeezing your glutes to not let your hips sway back and forth, your lower back kick out. What I'm looking for is good raise. So notice I'm not going all the way up here. Make sure you stop right about ear level, control it down. Ear level, control it down. Okay, 5 on one side, and then go ahead and hit 5 on the other. If you feel like that's pretty simple for you, pretty easy, you could maybe go to a heavier dumbbell that you have, but I would almost rather have you do 10 per side instead of increasing that weight. That's not a very good position for your shoulders to be in, especially if you have not done that movement a lot. But it's really good for the outside of the shoulder, building some muscle and some mobility on the outside. If you wanted to, like I just demonstrated, you could certainly do 2 arms at once. If you're somebody who doesn't have a dumbbell, go grab a soup can, right? Go grab something nice and light that you can work through. No soup cans in the house, anything like that, okay? What we can do is slow on the way up. 1, 2, 3, pause. Slow on the way down. You're still gonna feel the muscle contraction. You're still gonna feel some muscles burning and building in those shoulders, okay? So 3 times through that warm up, arm circles, inchworms, bird dogs, lateral raise, okay? Metcon for today, 3 times through. And we have 4 different movements, but we have 5 different stations, 4 different movements to get through. Each one is a minute at a time. There's no prescribed rest in between each of those movements, okay? Except for the 5th minute, which is rest, okay? So I'm just gonna talk through what this looks like, and then I'll demonstrate the movements for you. So 3 times for max reps, and what I would tell you to do is just keep a cumulative score in your head throughout every single round, and then you'll take your minute rest. Maybe you have something where you can write it down and put it in your phone or something like that, okay? So minute 1 is high plank, delt flies, or dumbbell rows. So we're incorporating those dumbbells we already kind of talked about, okay? Minute 2, so you have a whole minute to work. If you're somebody who said, this is my least favorite movement, okay, maybe you only want to work for 40-45 seconds and take 15 seconds of break and transition in order to get ready for minute 2. So minute 2 is glute bridge high kicks. Like I said, I will talk through all these. Glute bridge high kicks. Maybe this is a movement you say, I am killing these things. I'm getting through a ton of reps of these. I want to keep myself moving. So you work through that entirety of that 2nd minute, okay? Well, that means you have about 10 or 15 seconds to transition to the 3rd one, which is floor dips or box dips, okay? And maybe that would only give you about 45 seconds to work on that 3rd minute, and then the 4th minute is max reps of high knees. One of the most simple movements that we have, but one of them that I like the most just because it gets your heart rate up. It also works your core more than you know. It also works the hamstrings and the glutes a little bit more than you know in terms of not only muscle building, but mobility, okay? So the first movement, this is the most complicated one, so make sure you kind of take some time and understand this. So the first one I'm gonna demonstrate is just body weight. So if you have no dumbbell, no soup can, nothing at home that you could use, this is what I want you to do. You're gonna be in a high plank position here. So I'm gonna be in this high plank. What I'm gonna do, slowly and under control, I'm gonna try to reach my hand back towards the ceiling. So back and forth. Each time I reach up is a rep. I can already tell that is really working those delts in between those shoulder blades, okay? Make sure your hips aren't sagging when you're doing those. If you do have a dumbbell, okay, this is 3 rounds for time. Maybe you want to start off with those delt flies. Maybe this 2nd round, you want to add in some alternating dumbbell rows. So I'm going to look like this in this high plank position. I pull, set it down, switch back to the other side. I pull, set it down, switch back to the other side, okay? I'm gonna do that as many times as I can in that minute. Each time I pull that dumbbell off the floor as a rep. Remember, we're not looking for those hips to sag during the plank. Minute number 2, okay? Glute bridge high kicks. This isn't gonna seem like a very hard movement if you're not trying to do it to the best of your ability. So I want you to make sure you're extending your hips up towards the ceiling, which is here, okay? Try to keep those feet about a foot apart, right? Shoulder width apart, somewhere around there. And what I'm trying to do is kick those heels up towards the ceiling. Notice my glutes are staying engaged the whole time. I could be doing this, it's not near as much work. I go here, and I almost want to feel like my knees are opening out, okay? And I'm gonna kick myself nice and high. My lower back is starting to fire up. When I'm doing these, my glutes obviously, because they're engaged, and then it's also hip flexor, quad, and then all the way into that knee. So you're working that kind of upper part of that leg during that whole thing, and then your core is burning as well. So that's number 2. Number 3 is floor dips or box dips. So a box or something to jump on was another minimal equipment that we talked about. If you don't have one of those, go grab a chair that can support your body weight from in the house if you want to make this a little more challenging. We haven't done these, but they're really fun. Kind of sarcastic, but they're kind of fun. So what I want you to do is pop those hips up off the floor, okay? And what you're going to do is break at the elbows, let that butt touch the floor, sit up, or sorry, push up, okay? Where you're going to feel this, shoulders, little biceps, mostly in your triceps. If this is a really tough movement for you, you can almost help by extending your hips up towards the ceiling. You say, hey Rory, that's super simple. I'm not getting any burn off that. Find that chair, find that box, find that cinder block, whatever it is, okay? What we're trying to do here, all the way down and drive up. All the way down, drive up. Doesn't seem like a lot right away, but man, once those triceps get on fire, it is hard to get those done. That would be definitely a movement I don't think that you're going to be able to do for the entirety of the minute. Probably going to have to take some breaks here and there. The last one, as I talked about, is high knees. So remember when we're doing high knees, we're staying in the balls of our feet, we're trying to stay light with our steps, and our knees are getting above our belly button. So it looks like this guy here, okay? Easy to accumulate reps during that minute, but it's the one that elevates your heart rate the most. You can kind of get sloppy on those. So 4 movements, okay? High plank delt flies, or those high plank alternating dumbbell rows, the glute bridge high kicks, the floor dips, and the high knees. So make sure you're accumulating or counting those reps throughout those first 4 minutes. Minute 5 is a rest minute. So you're gonna rest for the entirety of that minute, then you're gonna start over, do those 4 movements again, rest, start over, do those 4 movements again, and then you're done. Your score is your total reps across all 3 of those rounds, okay? Last thing today is a core finisher. I actually just got done doing this before I got started, so I'm going to kind of show you what it's all about. To me, it's one of the harder ones just because it's going to tax the lower part of your core, the lower part of your abs, which we haven't worked a lot. And it's also going to require some stability. So anytime we work the lower part and then we're going into some stability, it gets a little bit more difficult. But this is 3 rounds for time. But remember, it's for quality. So instead of rushing through this stuff, if you're somebody that doesn't like to have a high score, or doesn't like to have the slow score on there, but you really want to work on this, don't score it, but try to get it down as fast as you can, with as high quality as you can, down as fast as you can, okay? And concentrate on each and every rep and each and every movement. These finishers are how we just get a little bit better at everything else. So we're going to start off with 2 movements that we have not done before, okay? 10 straight leg sit-ups, okay? So when I'm doing these, my hands are going to be right underneath my butt, and my goal here is just to kind of get my heels flat up towards the ceiling. 10 straight leg sit-ups. If that's not happening for you, start with your body flat on the floor and bring those knees up towards your chin. So it'll be 10 of those. Next up is I'm going heels to ceiling or heels to sky. When I'm doing these, I'm going to keep myself in an L position, okay, which is this here. What I'm going to do is pop my hips and my heels up towards the sky. Okay, notice my feet come down, but they don't come down into the floor. So I'm going to pop those up. That's not happening for you. What I want you to start thinking about doing is being in this crunch position. And all I want you to do is try to get your glutes up off the floor. Okay? So straight legs or bent knees, doesn't matter. That's still a lot of work. I'm definitely feeling it. And then we're going to finish off with 30 seconds of flutter kicks. Flutter kicks, very important that you try to remain as hollow as you can. Point those toes away from you. And kick, 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 kick. Kick, 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 kick for 30 seconds. Okay? And then you start back over, straight leg sit up, heels to sky, flutter kicks, straight leg sit up, heels to sky, and flutter kicks. All about that core and developing that strong and stable core. So hope you'll enjoy Wednesday's workout. Remember, allot a little bit more time. Allot yourself just a little bit more time for this because you do have a warm-up, you have a metcon, and then you have the finisher. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.